How was
because
the
it
switch?
does.
Because I mean, the firm you were at wasn't this big. I mean, it was a small firm. Now you're part of this huge thing. Like, how is that switch personally going? How long did it take to adjust to something like that? Go to a large firm.
So, uh, I would say that I'm still adjusting to the downside to large firm, which is there's a lot of bureaucracy, and I mean, this has been an interesting test for us. I feel like we're doing well, relatively speaking, but it is hard to pivot fast when you've got, 250 people who own the firm and want to make decisions, right?
Yeah.
Now we're governed by a policy committee board and then a management committee, and actually the management committee is like the C-suite, so they're empowered to make decisions day by day, and then the policy committee is like the board, which is like elected by the partners. So, so we're a little more nimble maybe than if we really just had 250 attorneys who had to reach consensus on everything. But it's still jarring when you kind of when you want to do something really creative. Like I was telling my marketing person, oh, I'm going to be interviewed by John and he does these podcasts, and I'm thinking maybe in this new world I should think about this. And he's like, yes, we're going to have a committee talking about that in 3 weeks. And I'm like, a committee to talk about podcasts in 3 weeks? Okay, fine. So that part's still hard, but I really liked the culture was such that they've managed to keep kind of small town culture, and maybe it's our Midwestern roots because
Yeah.
Minnesota's our headquarters. So it feels small even though it's big in that way, in the friendliness way.
And how does, I mean, I don't know what kind of thesis structure your firm had before when if it was a flat rate, how does that adjust to these other lawyers? I mean, you did employment law, so you probably did hourly kind of stuff, but how does the immigration flat rate or people not wanting to pay as much system come into a regular law firm, which is mainstream and, people charge a lot more? How
Yeah.
does that work?
So this is one of the reasons why we were so excited to merge with Bob, because he is flat fee, and we needed to get smarter about that. Because I think gone are the days when you can say, "Well, I'm your lawyer, and I charge $1 billion an hour." And if they weren't gone before March, they're gone now. And so we kind of knew, and I think in this way we're not any different than like a corporation that says, oh, I need to get smart about something. I know, we'll go merge with somebody who already knows it. So in that way, I was saying that I feel like there's pressure on labor and employment in general, and for sure in immigration. So we need to get smart about it. And so our immigration is flat fee, although we do have what we call the bespoke immigration work, which we charge hourly for.
Mhm.
That would be your CEO who needs to bring in his cousin's niece's daughter's nephew. Uh,
Yeah.
and
The
we don't know what
flexibility.
it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Quick question. How do I bring how do I do an EB-5 for my cousin? Like what? It's not a quick question.
Right, right. So so we do a lot of like strategy and general stuff on an hourly basis, and then once we say, okay, we're going to get a blanket L, or we're going to get an E2, and we're going to bring over 2 managers, then that stuff is all done on a fixed fee.
And have a really good contract specifies exactly what is included, what's not included.
Yeah,
I have an
exactly.
old contract where this client like disappeared for 2 years and he came back yesterday. And I look at my old contract, I'm like, oh man, like everything has changed. I can't even go. So I told him, listen, like there's travel bans, there's this and that, there's public charge now. Like we can't, this contract doesn't make sense anymore. You disappeared for 2 years. And so we got in that little argument. I said, you shouldn't have disappeared for 2 years. So we got to get back on track.
Yeah.
But just having a well-written contract, and you got to constantly update it and relook at it to avoid things popping up that could be problematic.
That's a great point. So that's the upside to a big firm, is that we have people, right? We have people who are constantly looking at our engagement letters and like, okay, we need to update them manually, or we need to do this, and we're going to read the rules in every state, right? Does this comply with Utah's ethics? Does this comply with California's ethics, right? All that stuff. But then that's the downside too, because if I met you on the street and I said, okay, John, yeah, I can help you. Let's do it this way. And I go back, my people are like, you can't tell him that. We
Yeah.
need 6 people to approve your arrangement.
You probably have massive. What is that when you need it? Not compliance, but when you need to check to see if um, they're not handling another firm like a case that's related to
Oh, conflict
conflict
checks.
checks and stuff like that. When I'm a
Yep.
small solo, there's not much conflicts going on. You catch it pretty quick.
Right. Yeah, no, we have a very robust conflicts check. Now, again, we try to stay on one side of the employment fence, and that helps it. So that even when we are representing an individual, like they're an O themselves, or
Yeah.
they need a national interest waiver or something, we usually don't have a conflict because it's, you know, it's not a, we haven't
That's great.
we haven't been on the other side.